Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hassan Chaudhary. You're tuned into something hot. This is part 2 of Beyond Borders featuring Miss Marvel. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam, Hassan. Review पे review.
माशाल्लाह नजर ना लगे
जी
अल्लाह something hot को कायम दायम रखे and maybe inshallah continue to deliver
आमीन
one video after the other. आमीन.
आज हम इकट्ठा हुए हैं मिस मार्वल के second part 2 of the review, which is 3 episodes of the latter 3 episodes of
First,
the
I want to
series.
thank everyone for such a fantastic feedback
जी
that they gave to the part 1 of our review of Miss Marvel.
जी
Thank you very much. And I think that we did tap into a newer audience with the first one.
right.
A couple of disclaimers. Amna and I are both not Marvel fans or Marvel geeks.
No, we are Marvel. I am a Marvel fan, but I'm not a Marvel geek.
Okay.
अगर आप मुझे ये कहेंगे that do you understand the entire dynamic of the multiverse and that this has been made in Earth 616? No, I don't. I don't. Like,
It's a case in point, a scene that I missed last time, and I said there was a scene between
It was an after scene.
damage control.
Haan.
It was a post-credit scene. I'd missed it. I obviously did not know that in Marvel it's
I
quite
knew
common.
that and I had watched it, but
ठीक है.
yeah.
So, but thank you for letting us know. The thing is that our reason for reviewing and watching Miss Marvel is all about Pakistani representation
जी.
and the representation of South Asia in general
जी.
in the Marvel universe
जी.
and in a Hollywood series.
Absolutely.
So that's our reason. This is too big of a reason for us to ignore.
To ignore it, despite us not being Marvel geeks.
Haan. So as we said before, I have not watched a lot of Marvel movies.
I've watched almost all of them.
You've watched almost all of
Also,
them.
when you have 2 young boys in the house, you
Yeah.
end up watching all Marvel
Yeah.
and DC films.
So this discussion, I wouldn't call it a review as such, but this discussion will mainly focus on the representation of
जी.
South Asians or the
With a little bit more.
with a little bit more, of course.
Yeah.
But this is a big achievement for us. We're very proud that Pakistan's
Absolutely.
big stars.
जी.
We've got Fawad Khan and Mehwish Hayat in episode 4 and 5.
5, no, just in 5.
Just in 5.
Yeah.
Mehwish was in 4 as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mehwish in 4 and 5, Samina Ahmed ji,
जी.
then Nimra Bucha,
जी.
quite a meaty character
Absolutely.
there. So it would have been unfair if we didn't speak about all of this.
Absolutely.
Iman Vellani as well, she's got Pakistani roots.
बिल्कुल.
So ये सारे वजूहात हैं जिसकी वजह से हम इसके ऊपर बात करना चाहते थे, अभी भी चाहते हैं. In this particular review, we are going to be discussing episode 4, 5, and 6, as well as an overall overview of the entire series. Amna and I are here, not going anywhere. As I always request that please during the title break subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon so that you are notified every time we upload a video. Amna and I'll be back after a really short title break.
Ji Hassan, where would you like to start
Ji, Amna
from?
ji. So we'd seen till episode 3 and we've
Ji,
discussed
we've discussed the first
episode.
episode.
What happens in episode 4?
So I don't.
Kamala, I'll tell you. So
Okay.
because I watched all 3 episodes last night.
Right.
Episode begins with Kamala landing in Pakistan.
Right.
So there's a small scene in the airplane.
जी.
थोड़ा सा उन्होंने उसको connect किया पाकिस्तान के साथ कि
बैठ जाओ.
the flight still, I mean, a bit of an exaggeration, but it's okay. That's
हाँ.
fine. Creative liberty. Plane's still mid-air and passengers start getting up and say, बैठ जाओ.
हाँ.
Gentlemen reading in Urdu अखबार.
जी.
So Kamala lands in Pakistan and connects with her Nani.
जी.
Nani played by Samina Ahmed
Samina
Saiba.
Ahmed, जी.
And I have to say, Samina Ahmed Saiba is such a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
If we, whether we see her in Pakistani dramas or now in an international series, I mean, she's just so good.
She's such a force in any role that she takes on that she slips into it.
I met her at the Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad screening and I went up to her and I thanked her. I said, thank you for working for us tirelessly. All the dramas that you're a part of, all the projects.
Hassan, what a legacy.
Fantastic, yeah. And she was so warm. She was so gracious.
But 60 years, I would say. I mean,
So
black and white
warm and so
television
gracious. it was such a pleasure meeting her, and it's an
Absolutely.
equal pleasure seeing her on screen every
Bilkul.
time she comes. What a fantastic performance! And here you see अंग्रेजी में एक्ट
जी
पाकिस्तानी एक्टर हम उर्दू में उनको एक्ट
जी
करते हुए देखते हैं एक दूसरी हम रिव्यू एक दूसरी जुबान में कर रहे हैं तो वो थोड़ा सा एक
जी
होता है बट टू परफॉर्म इन अनदर लैंग्वेज व्हिच इज नॉट
Absolutely. Yeah.
योर नेटिव लैंग्वेज
Yeah.
but she delivered with aplomb.
Absolutely.
I have to say, no lapses
Absolutely.
there,
No.
no issue with the dialogue delivery,
No.
no issue with the pronunciation or anything. Fantastic, such a
Yeah.
pleasure to enjoy to watch her on screen.
Yeah.
So, this one, what's her name?
Kamala.
Kamala. Kamala comes to Pakistan. Why?
Kamala comes to Pakistan to actually find out because her nani summons her. She says, "You have to come to Karachi," because they've both seen the train. And the train, of course, is an allusion of the train, the partition ki aakhri train. And they've both seen it. And there's something, a connection between Earth and Noor, which is the other realm, jahan se ye jinn aaye hain, and they need to go back. So to figure all that out and to figure out her roots and her powers, she's come back to connect with the nani because the nani knows things. Yeah.
Achha, now I have to give a shout out to Sharmeen Ubaid Chinoy. She's directed episode 4 and 5.
Ji.
And you can understand why, because these episodes were meant to be set in Pakistan, in Karachi.
Ji.
So, I mean, great decision by Marvel as well to get on board a Pakistani
Of course,
director.
of
And
course.
of course, of Sharmeen.
Well, I mean, she's an Oscar-winning director. Even if she was not Pakistani, she's Oscar-winning. So she's
Yeah, but she is
completely
Pakistani.
Exactly.
She is Pakistani and a
Absolutely.
director of Sharmeen's
Yeah.
stature.
Absolutely.
Two observations now. Number one, there are extensive shots of Karachi
Yeah.
incorporated in the series in episodes 4 and 5. You see the Mazar, the mausoleum, and you see the roads, and you see the
Clifton
landmarks,
Bridge, you see the
you see
Freya
the
Hall,
Clifton Bridge and all
yeah.
of that. But when you actually move to the sets,
Yeah.
and of course it's a set, and we know that I believe the series was shot in Thailand. That's where Samina Ahmed
Ji.
Sahib and all of these people are. Malaysia
Ji.
or Thailand?
Ji.
I think Thailand.
Ji.
So the sets that they created, now I can understand with Marvel, because there's an element of secrecy and you're not supposed to know what they're shooting and you know what's going on, that it is probably not even possible for them to shoot at real locations. So they have to build all these sets, and even the bit in America and
Ji,
Jersey,
bilkul,
I think that's also all shot
Ji.
on sets. But my thing was that the sets, even though you could tell that a lot of effort has been put into creating those sets, did not do justice to Karachi.
It didn't?
No.
I was comparing it to Pakistan as portrayed in Homeland. And I was like, guys, these guys have nailed it. Because the little
No, but
nuances
where
of
do
the
you see
road-
these, वो जो पूरा आपने देखा है सदर one
मुझे तो Zena Market ही लग रहा था.
Zena Market
Dhobi Guard, Zena Market.
एक
Sadar.
चीज ये है कि you know the effort you've got the taxis there
Yes.
in a couple of scenes.
Yes.
You've got the chinchis there.
Totally.
So one would assume
You've
that
got the characters in Shalwar Kameezes and Panch baate
but these props, one would assume that they transported these things to Thailand, right? Where else would you find a taxi car that runs in Karachi in Thailand, right?
Well, I mean, I'd love to have a conversation with Sharmeen about the making of these two episodes. And she's also spoken about it, but I think कि यहाँ भी उन्होंने कुछ create तो किया होगा.
I think इक्का दुक्का सीन्स ऑब्वियसली वो जो बाइक आ रही होती है वो यहाँ पे, बट व्हेन वो जो पीछे हो रही होती है गाड़ी में वो यहाँ पे नहीं है. बट अगेन अगर आप उसको you know if you look at it from a technical point of view, there's a lot of effort that's got into it.
Right.
But my thing was that you know they've probably spent so much money on creating these sets and so much effort, might as well shoot it in real locations. But then I don't know, with Marvel I think
guess no, not possible.
with Marvel it's probably not possible
Technically,
to,
logistically not possible.
you know, to shoot at the airport. The airport was very well made.
A
At
little
one
better than it actually is.
at one point I actually thought, oh, ये Karachi airport
Then you
लग रहा है
saw
बाहर
the
से ऊपर
displays,
वाला.
The LED displays and you said, नहीं,
हाँ.
नहीं, नहीं.
So a lot of hard work has gone into it. Congratulations to
Totally.
Sharmeen. Episodes 4 and 5 are visibly also visually quite different from episode 1 and 2.
Ji.
Mainly because these two episodes are set in Pakistan.
Ji.
But I could feel that in terms of the technical aspect of these two episodes also, I enjoyed the first 2-3 episodes a lot more. I don't know
Okay, I
if
think
you.
these two were about Kamala finding herself and finding her roots and her coming of age and her reconnection with her heritage. So it was a lot about heritage and less about her being a superhero with powers or you know all of that. So इस वजह से भी आपको थोड़ा सा लगा. For
But आपको
example,
लगा?
हाँ मुझे लगा. For example, my children did not enjoy episode 5 at all. They were like
The partition episode.
the partition, and they were like, "There's nothing Marvel about it." And you know, so kids who are looking at Miss Marvel with the angle of, oh, it's a Marvel series, did not find enough meat in the action or the stunts or the sequences and you know the special effects, all of that. But those of us who are watching it from a heritage point of view are delighted by it.
Before we move on to Mehwish and Fawad,
Ji.
I know that there's an impending conversation on the narrative built around partition.
Ji, bilkul.
You had a lot to say about that last.
I did, and especially in episode 4, I believe, when she's having a conversation with her nani, and her nani stands on the terrace and she says कि ये देखो हमारा दिल वहाँ है लेकिन
मेरा
हम यहाँ
passport
हैं.
पाकिस्तानी है. My passport is Pakistani, but my roots are in
My
India.
roots are in India, and the division was caused by an Englishman.
Old Englishman.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. I mean, it's as simple as that. It wasn't. Unless you're referring to Allama Iqbal and Qaid-e-Azam as an old Englishman, which they were not. It wasn't.
Achha,
the entire idea, the two-nation theory, was coined by Allama Iqbal.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, I have a problem with
that. So that one sentence
Yes.
was quite problematic for me.
Yes.
Because you are essentially negating the two-nation theory.
Absolutely.
By saying that this was an idea, अब हमारी identity इस वजह से बनी है because some idea an old Englishman had.
No, that's not.
That's not true.
That's not true.
It's not as straightforward and simple as that.
Yeah.
You can't be negating the two-nation
Yeah.
theory, and there's been so many sacrifices and there's an entire movement.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of like, you know, I would say like a tone-deaf moment for the makers there.
Yeah.
That did not sit well with me. But other than that, I think when you move into episode 5, and
so episode 5 makes up for it, right?
Episode
Because,
5 makes up for it. So you're introduced to Aisha.
And Hassan.
Hassan! Why are all Hassans so charming?
है ना? So all Chaudhurys and all.
All Chaudhurys and all Hassans.
हाँ.
Aisha is a jinn.
Ji.
Do we know? She's one of the clandestines.
She is. Yeah.
But acha, so there's not enough clarity on the fact that even whether Kamala is a jinn. Because the Nani says this is what it is. Even if को कहे ना,
अब होगी ना clarity.
Even if Thor comes to
नहीं, but episode 6 में clarity आ गई है ना.
That she's a mutant.
She's a mutant. Absolutely. She's not which is so interesting.
So Aisha is some girl who's running around in the fields.
I believe Marvel Universe में there are also Inhumans and there are mutants and there are those who are the X-Men with the X factor. So she's an Inhuman. So she's a jinn.
So was Aisha.
Aisha is an Inhuman.
Aisha is an Inhuman.
But she's not a mutant.
So we're introduced to Aisha in episode 5. She's this young hot girl running around in the fields, chased by some British soldier.
Yes.
And then she kills the British soldier. And on the flip side, we see Hassan having a conversation with the gaon wala, with the villagers.
And when she says, "Touch me and I'll break your leg," and when he laughs,
no.
And then you're like, "Oh my God, where has Fawad Khan been all our lives? Which is the last 10 years?"
So Aisha is found sleeping in
under the tree.
Hassan's fields.
Yes.
Right? Hassan's fields.
Rose garden.
Rose garden. And he wakes her up with his stick because he can't walk. He's got a walking impediment. And she says, "If you touch me, I'll kill you." अच्छा अब एक बात बताएं.
I'll break your leg.
I'll break your leg. So we see Hassan conversing in Urdu with his villagers but why are Hassan and Aisha conversing in English?
So that everybody understands because it's an English
That's the
series.
reason.
Yeah, of course.
But then why do they speak Urdu beach?
Kabhi, just for I think a little cultural relevance. Otherwise, it's an English series. They're not going to talk in Urdu. That's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I loved episode 5. It was like, oh my God, these two have such brilliant chemistry, and Mehwish Hayat and the way she's been presented.
Can I say something on Mehwish Hayat?
You've said a lot earlier as well, but I can see you want to say
I have a newfound crush on Mehwish Hayat.
I understand that.
But you see, has Mehwish looked? I mean, it's not that she did not look hot or good earlier. It's just that she looks a lot different now.
No, I think her makeup has
And
been
even-
done tremendously.
even better.
I think that Mehwish should actually take a little advice from whoever's done her makeup on Marvel. It's very subdued makeup. She looks beautiful. She looks like this is her Lara
She
Croft
looks
moment.
exotic.
She looks exotic.
She looks exotic.
Whereas her makeup in, for example, London Nahi Jaunga or local films, it's too cakey. There's
But
too
London
much
Nahi Jaunga,
makeup.
she also looked hot.
But the makeup was terrible.
But she looked hot.
That's different. She is hot. The thing is that Mehwish Hayat is a hot actor and she's a hot individual, but the makeup was terrible. The hair and makeup both in the film. So
And
whatever-
also, by the way, it's not just about her appearance. She's a very good actor as well.
she's a very good actor.
She's a very good actor. So you see that entire conversation.
Somebody wants to make a Marvel appearance. Okay, you can sit. Okay, yeah.
So
I don't know
you
what's coming to him today.
So you see that entire conversation between Hassan and Aisha.
Yeah.
The first time when he offers her a paratha and says, okay, now you're just putting up a show because
Yeah.
nobody's ever not eaten a freshly
Paratha.
fried paratha.
Huh.
And paratha with mangoes, by the way?
Why not?
Really? Is that a thing? Like
when
people
Hassan says it is, it is.
people eat parathas and mangoes?
When he says it's a thing, then it becomes
Acha,
a thing.
theek hai. Have you ever had a paratha with a mango?
No.
If you've had a paratha with a mango, please let us know in the comment section. So she starts having her paratha with a mango, and then when he narrates a poem or something, a poem, yeah. And then she instantly, I think, falls in love with him.
I mean, we all did, right?
In that moment.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't fall in love with Fawad Khan?
Yeah,
telling her-
what command on a performance. I mean, it's a small role. It's one episode. But my God, what an impression it's left. And again, I mean, Fawad Khan is such a veteran. He's such a smooth actor that he just absorbs every character that is given to him. And the fact that he's young. It's not like he doesn't have 60 years of experience behind him. And he's not worked for the last many years, other than the endorsements that he does. But my God, what a performer. आपको ये कह के जी फवाद खान bias है तो absolutely because of his work and the prowess he has as an actor.
I want to draw sort of a strange comparison here between Hassan here
जी.
and Hassan in Dastan. And you see, Hassan in Dastan is a Hassan who is opposed to the idea of actually no, Hassan here is opposed to the idea of partition.
Not really.
In a way, he wants to stay here, and
but then by the end of it, he's complaining about the treatment that Muslims are meeting. That's exactly what he's worried about in Dastan.
No, Dastan was a different kind of a version of Hassan. And so here is two Hassans in partition, 10 years apart or so.
Totally.
Very interesting, same name also.
Totally, yeah.
So quite a moment
A good
for
moment.
Fawad Khan.
Good memory.
Fawad Khan fans.
Fawad Khan fans.
He looks excellent. He's performed. I mean, he always does
I mean,
his
what
best.
I love about it is that he's not a narcissistic actor.
A lot of
As a
people said he's not
performer.
posted on his Instagram. That,
He's not
Acha, I have to say something.
You kar lete with us, huh?
No, it's fine that Fawad hasn't, but it's okay if somebody has posted about it. Yeah, it's a big deal for a Pakistani actor to be part of a Marvel
What are you
series.
saying? Who hasn't? And
A
who
lot of
has?
people said that, oh, what a guy! He's not posted anything about being
I
part.
think he should have posted something about it.
He should have. He shouldn't have. That's up to
His
him.
personal choice.
That's his
whatever.
personal. That's fine.
But the fact is that he's not a narcissistic actor in that he completely gives himself to the role. There is no self-indulgence in the way Hassan appears or the way his character has been sketched.
I mean, that's how Hassan would have appeared, right?
Exactly.
He's secure, na?
Absolutely. So secure.
He's
So
secure. He's secure.
And in that security, there is like incredible attraction.
A word about Mehwish and Fawad's chemistry.
Yeah.
I think splendid.
Splendid.
Fiery. Fiery is the word.
I have to say that individually, Fawad, you can put with anybody and there will be fiery chemistry. And I can say the same about Mehwish. You can cast her with anybody and there will be fiery chemistry because they are both so volatile, chemically
And
volatile.
to think Samina Ahmed Sahiba was there, was the product of that chemistry.
Cute.
So,
yeah, but back to the series.
So Iman.
We saw Farhan Akhtar as well.
We saw Farhan
Akhtar and I loved seeing Farhan Akhtar. You know, Amar
Why
Tilaka,
was he dressed up like he was still in the 16th century?
because he was like, he's a red dagger, like a thing. So
No,
the-
but so was Nimra Butcher's character. But with time
वो
they
भी जरा सा, हाँ,
they
but
dress up differently. You know,
ठीक है ना, थोड़ा सा costume
contemporary
करना है
बन
ना।
जाते हैं वो लोग सारे.
हाँ, वो नहीं
But
बने। वो नहीं
Waleed
बने।
जो था, Waleed was still stuck in his whatever time
So
period that
किसी
he
ने
was.
बड़ा सही मीम लगाई कि Kamala picking up boys like Thanos picks up gems. हर एपिसोड में एक नया वो लड़का उसको मिल जाता है।
Acha, that boy who's playing what's the character's name?
No, I didn't catch the character's name.
Again, it would have been nice to see a Pakistani.
Now I think that we've become a little over possessive of the series.
Not over possessive. Yeah, again, problem with the accent.
Yeah, but a little over possessive because बहुत लोगों ने कहा कि जी Kamala's parents, you know, we wish the mother had been a Pakistani actor. Especially
मैंने
because
कहा
आपने कहा
नहीं, मैं इसकी आपको इसलिए बात कहता हूँ. Kamala's cousin is played by Varda Aziz,
जी.
who's a stylist. She's worked a lot
Okay.
with Pakistani stars. So if for the cousin's role you can cast a Pakistani talent, then why not for a much bigger role and a meteor
maybe
role?
there was a logistic problem. Maybe an actor who had a visa or a work
नहीं ना,
visa
फिर
that
ये-
extended to
so फिर this is
whatever.
not.
हाँ, but ये
We
क्या
don't
है?
make the same excuses for our dramas, right? But for
No.
Marvel, we're
No,
extending
we're not.
that
We're not.
courtesy.
We criticized it.
हाँ.
That उनका accent कई नामों में नहीं था ना. Humaira and you know all of that.
यहाँ पे
so-
भी इस बच्चे का नहीं था,
नहीं था.
and, you know.
Exactly.
But I can understand you needed a person with a certain skill set. With
But Farhan Akhtar का था, so we're okay with it.
क्या?
Accent सही बिल्कुल.
हाँ, Farhan was fine.
Exactly.
Farhan was fine.
Exactly.
Farhan was fine. Kamala goes back into the goes into the past.
जी.
Sees all of this happening, and actually Kamala was the person who led her Nani when Nani was a little girl.
जी.
Led her to her father,
stars that she
and that's
saw.
how she saved her own Nani. That was an interesting twist.
Very interesting.
But my little observation there, again, I'm not a Marvel geek, but I mean, it's a question of common sense. How could there have been two different bangles at that particular moment? If Kamala was wearing one and Sana had one, and that was the same bangle that Sana actually eventually gave to Kamala, then how in that particular moment Kamala was also wearing that bangle?
There were two bangles.
But the bangle that Sana had Sana was
Is the
carrying
same one
is
that
the same that Kamala ends up wearing.
Yeah.
So if Sana had the bangle, then how was Kamala simultaneously wearing that bangle?
Point hai. But I'm sure there's an explanation for
Please explain that to me.
I'm
Someone
sure the
please
Marvel
explain
geeks
that.
will
I'm
have
sure
it.
there are a lot of Marvel geeks watching. Please
who
explain that to me. How
Yeah.
does that work?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is because what it draws is a parallel universe. So it's a lot of it is mirror imagery as well. जो कि Doctor Strange में हमें बहुत देखने को मिलती है.
If
there's
it was
kind of
mirror
inception
imagery,
and all of
then she
that.
wouldn't have been able to hold her.
I
na?
don't know, but maybe there's some kind of.
She wasn't an observer. She was a part of that
Yeah.
realm in that moment.
yeah.
She held Sana, little Sana. She picked her up.
Yeah.
She took her forward.
Maybe. So some Marvel geek will be able to.
Please,
Enlighten
इसकी
us.
explanation हमें दें.
दें.
And that's
sure.
how Kamala then eventually is able to open up, remove the veil between
जी.
Noor and
जी.
the
अच्छा
that.
लेकिन ये अच्छी एपिसोड जो है ना हसन ये इन्होंने premise set कर दी है for Kamala and it's kind of inducted her into the Marvel universe. The fact that the 6th episode was very important, especially Marvel geeks के respect में कि you know there was a lot of referencing to the X-Men.
And this time I did watch the post-credit scene.
You did watch well done. You saw Brie Larson make a entry and you saw the fact
And then I also went on YouTube and sought explanation for that
oh,
scene.
well done. So you now know that she is a shapeshifter as well. And her power.
Actually, there are two potential possibilities.
हाँ.
One, that she's a shapeshifter, and two, that she actually becomes a different person in that time.
In that time, exactly. But there's a lot that is to look forward to, and the fact that we will see her again in the Marvel universe in one of the upcoming films is huge. So for me, the Marvel is not about okay, what's happening in the Marvel universe. It's about oh my God, Pakistan is part of the Marvel universe. That is the big picture.
That surely
That
is
surely the big
is a
picture.
big achievement. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a big achievement. It's good to be a part of the Marvel
No,
universe.
absolutely, it's
And
huge.
representation there.
Yeah.
What do you think of the climax and the entire, like, the big showdown in the final episode?
No, I liked it. I liked the little conversation she has with her father and how they come up with the name Miss Marvel.
That was
Yeah,
cute.
that was cute, you know. Kamal ka to matlab it's like Marvel, you know. So that was a nice little explanation
cute, yeah.
of how she gets her name. And
Yeah, Iman Vellani is such a find, such a fantastic find.
Yeah.
Even when she's not talking, even when she's giving those little expressions with her eye rolls, or when she's looking at her mother
Yeah.
or her nanny, you know, she communicates through her eyes. That's very important for an actor. And I think at such a
Bilkul.
young age, such an impactful performance, carrying an entire series.
I
on
hope
a
they keep the actor for the character.
I hope that the actor continues to work a lot, and I would love to see a lot more of her. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If somehow we can transport her to Pakistan and have her become part of a Pakistani film or series or something, it'll be a pleasure to watch
This
her.
was such a cultural reawakening, I think, for all of our kids as well. That there are small things that have been incorporated in this.
The biryani in the
biryani in the
shopper.
plastic in the shopper, the Mitchells की toffee के डिब्बे.
और वो खाने में तोड़ने में time लग रहा है.
The books that we see, the coffee table books are like, you know, marking productions with the Coca-Cola book and other books, you know, Heritage Pay. All of that. It's
the patio menu because she couldn't go in because of the jeans.
Of course, the club. Boat club.
Boat
so
club.
there are so many things that, you know, are just so nice to watch.
Nice cultural references, nice references to Pakistan.
And सबसे बड़ा cultural reference, Hassan, our music. Our music. I mean, Coco Corina was in the first episode and then again in the last
Pasuri,
episode. There was Pasuri. There was, I mean, whoever, have you heard of Janubi Khargosh?
No.
So the opening, episode 6 opens with Janubi Khargosh, which is a completely underground band. और उनका एक गाना है Captain Space, उससे वो शुरू होता है.
And episode 5 ended with Tu Jhoom, I think.
Tu Jhoom. I mean, this is like nikal padi, I hope, Janubi Khargosh ki. You know? These are amazing moments. And the fact that somebody, and I'm so glad that Sharmeen was part of the project because obviously she brought all of this to the table. उनको तो नहीं ख्वाब आने थे कि music क्या और ये क्या वो क्या. So, I mean, I'm grateful for every little bit she's done to give Pakistan that stage, that international platform. It's superb. Absolutely.
We always discuss and talk about and often complain about Pakistan's representation or the representation of Muslims or South Asians or other ethnicities in Western media, in Hollywood. So this is a big moment in that regard. That, you know, you've got all these wonderful Pakistani actors, South Asian
more
actors.
Riz Ahmed as well.
Farhan Akhtar as well, like, you know, from India, Mehwish, Hayat, Fawad Khan, Samina Ahmed Sahiba, Nimra Bucha. Fantastic performance by Nimra Bucha, yeah. You see her even in episode 4, 5 as well. You know, what screen presence, yeah. Matlab, you know, she fits that role so well.
Bilkul.
And she's done such a good job, and it wouldn't be wrong to say that she was perhaps playing the antagonist in the series. So a big role, big responsibility, and she's delivered 100%. She's done complete justice to her character.
Bilkul.
So it's incredible to see our actors become part of these internationally huge series. A great moment of pride for Pakistan, and I hope that this trend or these doors that have opened for our Pakistani actors, they remain open. And
they have opened, and tomorrow we'll be talking about another door that is open to the Resident Evil universe. And
of course, we're talking about Adra Zamir. We'll speak about that as well. Any final thoughts, comments on?
I can't wait for more. It was a mini series. It was an introduction to Miss Marvel. It was her induction in the Marvel multiverse. I can't wait for the next episode or the next series or the next film that brings her back.
And how would you rate your experience watching Miss Marvel?
Oh, it's a 10 on 10.
And would you?
Or I'll take 1 mark away for the Englishman comment. 9 on 10.
And would you recommend it to?
Absolutely. I have recommended it to many, especially those outside Pakistan who have access to Disney Plus. I think it's a travesty that people in Pakistan can't watch it legally. और cinemas में जो जा सके उन्होंने 2 episodes देखी, but ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए. It should be accessible on television or YouTube or somewhere because people need to watch it.
People need to watch it. In case you've not watched it, please do watch it. We in all good faith cannot condone you watching it illegally, so please don't watch it illegally. Try to find ways to watch it legally.
Yeah.
So especially if you're in Europe, I think Disney Plus works in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So अगर आप अमेरिका में हैं, if you're in America, North America, or wherever where
Anywhere
you
in the
have
world, you won't have a problem.
where
with
you
it.
have legal access to Disney Plus, please do watch it. In terms of Pakistan's representation, as we said, this is one series that we'll do good by supporting, because if we support such content and such series,
Absolutely.
maybe there in the future as well there'll be
Ji.
more opportunities.
I think it has opened many doors.
Many doors. So there'll be more opportunities for Pakistani stars and Pakistani talent as well. So yeah.
Fantastic.
ठीक है.
बिल्कुल.
On this note, we'll take your leave. आज है इंशाल्लाह ट्यूसडे. आपने ट्यूसडे को होपफुली ये हमारा बियॉन्ड बॉर्डर्स का पार्ट 2 देख लिया होगा फीचरिंग मिस मार्वल. कल इंशाल्लाह वेंसडे को मैं और आमना आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर होंगे विद अहद रजा मीर्स अपीयरेंस इन रेजिडेंट ईवल. और उसके साथ साथ एटलीस्ट एक टॉपिक तो है जो मैंने सोचा हुआ है जिसके बारे में हमने बात करनी है. बट हो सकता है कि कल जब हम उसको रिकॉर्ड करना शुरू करें और आप तक ये वीडियो पहुंचे हॉट बाइट्स की, एक और टॉपिक भी आ गया हो या शायद एक से ज़्यादा टॉपिक आ गया हो. सो ज़रूर इंतज़ार कीजिएगा. अगर अभी तक आपने हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो सब्सक्राइब करें, बेल आइकन पे हिट करें ताकि हमें आपको बताना ना पड़े. जब भी हमारी कोई वीडियो आए आपको ऑटोमेटिकली उसका नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाए. दुआ में याद रखिएगा, अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. खुदा हाफिज़.